Jeff, what?
Welcome back to Birdle. This is another one. This is another one. Let's go. Amir guessed the last one, so let's go to Casey. I almost called him. Almost called you China.
So the last one was eagle?
The last one was eagle. This is a different word, but you can still guess eagle because it might be a good guess.
I'll guess.
On to the next segment.
So pissed. Let's go back to when you called Casey China.
All right. Welcome back to Birdle. This is basically Wordle, but it's for birds. I think it's China's turn. I want to say. Sorry, Casey. Now you got me saying it.
That's not what
That's a good guess, Casey.
Holy shit!
Evidently
literally
not.
none.
Yikes.
It's classic China.
Stork.
Sorry, hang on. F and C are in the right places after Amir guessed flock. Back to China, Casey.
Okay, 1 second.
Thin,
Amir,
but
Amir?
I guess
So
it's blue cheese,
watery.
but it's soup. It's
Casey, China.
This
No,
is a
ranch.
chive latte.
Ranch.
One. I'm
Ranch.
gonna go.
I changed.
That's really good, Casey.
Now I
Or
know
should I
you
say
play.
China.
What?
What?
Your nickname is China.
Since
Never.
when?
Like a couple weeks
Lucky
ago.
Casey.
That's also kind of good and racist.
It's not.
Casey, what's your walkout song? You're holding up the whole show.
No. Oh my god.
If you're just producing, you're not writing, you're not directing, all right? Don't get too excited, China.
Look,
Basically-
you're talking to a couple film producers right here, right? in front
Already
of
getting way too excited. That's why I was about to prevent that. Your job is only spoiler
Do you know
alert.
Casey's
I'm
going to be
cut that
there?
out. What? You didn't tell me China was coming.
you. I texted you.
No, you didn't. And let's just move on to China. China Casey's sounds like a great dive bar. So I don't know why people start to get upset with me.
Are you spelling China with a Y or an I?
I.
Okay.
But not where you think. China.
Casey,
For me,
what's
the green
what's
of
your
the
green of the
moment?
moment? Like outfitting Studio G, it could have been more of like a Chine green. It could have been more like a cola or even a China Casey red, which
I
is
feel
like the
your green of every moment is envy because you don't get to decide any of these things.
Oh my
God. And be there or not. China, what do you got?
No, I have one thing to say.
Tanya has something.
I do think
Phone to pick with Casey Donahue, also known as China. I feel like Casey has the shyest touch with studios. I feel like Studio
Touch is
H,
pretty good.
That is
he
quite good.
soured, and so they all turned to charcoal. This one, paint is good, audio tech never works. Is that fair to say? And it's not Emma's fault.
Not Emma's fault.
It's Casey's fault because he came in here. Why is no one backing me up on this?
This is a takedown of one of our friends.
friends. It's China.
It's so rude, but it is very funny.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I thought
Try to answer a
this
question.
was a
and he gets
podcast.
mad
And
at
we're
you.
opening it up to conversation.
No, we can open it up to conversation. We're not dominating the discourse and making it all the Casey show, right?
So if I speak for 10 seconds, I'm dominating the discourse.
You're making it the Casey show. It's the China hour to you. Guys, post-election thoughts. Like a supportive environment. We used to yes and each other. Now we know but.
Well, 2 minutes ago, you asked Casey to stop talking because he
Yeah.
was turning into the Casey show.
The China hour, yeah.
Yeah, so that was you saying no, but. And you're
Okay.
asking what happened to the show.
I was saying no and. Let me ask you guys this. Specifically, let's ask Grace. Who does this remind you of? Casey, right?
You can't say Casey right.
Nobody's ever said Casey.
I just think it looks like you. Not looks. I mean, looks like it's crazy because it's a flag.
Yeah.
But I feel like it reminds me of China.
It reminds you of
It
China.
should
the
remind
country.
you.
Chinese flag reminds you of China.
Let me dog walk you guys through this. This
Yeah.
reminds me of China,
Mhm.
right?
And
It should.
you're saying I'm
and
China.
You are China.
Yeah.
So if this reminds me of China, it by extension reminds me of you. It's like an SAT question.
It's the transitive property.
All
Yeah.
Last night at the party, you kept showing the Chinese flag
Yeah.
I would just, because this
And
was already
going,
pulled
who
up. I
does
didn't
this
even have to
remind you
Google
of?
it.
People
And
that
then
didn't
they
know
go-
you
they
or
look-
Casey.
They look
Yeah.
at me blankly mostly.
Look at you blankly,
yeah.
and then you go, Casey, right?
I
And
was
they're like,
talking to
"Who's Casey?"
advertisers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, Squarespace had a rep there, and I was like, doesn't this remind you of China?
Yeah.
And they said yes, which means Casey.
They thought we had
Make-A-Wish Foundation
Yeah.
thing going.
An employee who we sort of had to hire, even though he's not all mentally there,
I was
walking
gonna
throughout
say.
the party, asking people about the Chinese
Well,
flag.
I was like grabbing people's wrists and being like, I'm the employee of the moth, and then I would try to eat their shirt. Okay. Did
What
you
album is
China,
that?
I don't know.
Casey?
Yes, thank you for calling me by my name.
Incorrect to Grace, correct to China and
It'll what though?
We're
Blumenfeld.
back.
That was Michael, correct, China.
Thank you.
I have 6.
I actually heard parking was really bad.
Parking's terrible. That's why Casey almost didn't come. Sorry, China.
What?
What do you mean?
Where were you pointing to?
Is that a Casey thing now?
Casey's nickname, yeah, China.
It's China?
Because who
That's
does this
trying to
remind
get
you
us
of?
there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, who's calling me?
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, Jeff was
I
walking
remember
up to
that
people
from
at
the
the party.
holiday party.
Oh yes, at the
Yeah,
holiday
and the
party,
holiday
which was
party.
the night
Yeah,
before
we've
Jeff's
all
party.
actually been together
It
a
was-
lot recently.
Yeah.
Too much, I would say. It's been the pregame to my party was the holiday party, kind of. And then I tried to get everybody to come.
And
I
then
in.
everyone's
know.
sort of
I just
tired
had a
on it.
memory flashback of you walking up to me, showing me the flag of China, and say, "Does
Correct.
this remind you of Casey?"
No, I said, who does this remind you of? And
Oh.
everybody was saying Casey flag.
Oh, okay, okay.
Nobody said Casey.
I think I was going to be like, whose flag is this? And they said China. And I said, you mean Casey? And they
I
said,
don't really
what?
look at the flag of China and see Casey, but
What do
then
you mean?
he was
Because
like,
the red is his hair and the yellow is his liver disease.
well, and he was like maybe Italy for those same
Italy.
reasons.
Mm. No,
I think
no, because he doesn't look sick to his stomach in the emoji way. He's jaundiced in yellow. He's like Homer Simpson. to see.
right, but he's also white
That's true.
and maybe was wearing a green shirt.
Yeah, Casey wearing green could be the Irish flag.
Why?
Orange hair, because red hair is not red. And I've been meaning to talk to people about this.
Give
Back
a,
to
give
the
a, give a,
close-up.
give a garment.
Where the fuck is Marika? This would be better with her. No, the party was a hit, I think. And I was there till like 1, which was later than I wanted to stay out.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was touched that y'all came. Y'all came, China came, Casey. Sorry, one and the same. China showed out, meaning Casey. Anya was there. She was Kanevskaya out. It's a new start, Casey.
Yeah.
Or should I say China?
No, you shouldn't. I think you should not say that.
Probably I shouldn't, yeah. Because less people are listening to podcasts than they did in the pandemic. Or should I say pandemic? China knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, God.
That actually was the first time the nickname was racist.
What was is your outline about Casey working?
Well, I have a question, Casey. So I see this like kind of round light right here. You can't
Yeah.
see it on the cameras, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're a filmmaker. Have you ever used what they call in lighting a China ball?
Excuse me?
A China ball?
They don't call it that
They
anymore.
still called it that at the USC Film
They
School
call it
10
something
years
much
ago.
more offensive now.
Well, I was going to just say, if you didn't want to call it by the potentially nominatively offensive name, call it a Casey ball.
All right.
I have to get back to work. I get that, yeah. Give it up for Casey Donahue.
Yay, Casey.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's not.
First, Casey corners me into saying China ball, then you guys insinuate. No, I did see a comment from one China Donahue on TikTok. So the mantra of this show is overlapping dialogue, and we're nailing that, right? I'd like a little bit more out of Casey, which, by the way, feel free to call him China. That's sort of a nickname that I tried to
I
get
feel
going.
like that's some bullying that you're tricking us into. I don't like that.
Yes.
It's nicknaming.
I want to be mad about it, but I can't because it's so funny.
Why? Why is it so funny?
Corey, you said you wanted to compliment Casey, right?
Yeah. Can I give you my compliments now?
Oh, yes, yes. I'll take them.
I think that your hair looks really great.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
No, I'm trying to get a read on you,
By the way,
really.
last week China said China ball.
When?
No, you
China
said
ball?
China ball.
You said it again.
I'd like to interject that China could be a cool nickname if you let it be.
Right?
If you just accepted it.
Can you tell them what happened at the Headgum holiday party?
I don't know what that's in reference to. What happened at that?
Moving on,
Okay.
right? Okay. I'm a huge fan of the Explore page,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Especially when
okay.
it comes to finding ways to relate to, I want to say China. Interesting. I don't even mind that. China, what are we thinking?
Roddick.
Roddick.
Everyone thinks Roddick. Unanimous Roddick? Final
Vegan-
answer. What's your
older
final
vegan
answer?
Clinton.
Final answer in terms of China?
I'll go Bill Clinton.
Gara.
That it was Donahue because of the lack of additions that no subtraction, but you haven't added much today.
Who,
I'm sorry to
China?
say. Yeah.
Why am I the only one getting notes on my performance?
He's done plenty.
China? Care to weigh in? China? Sort of feels like you're time to shine. And
Like
you're
fine
letting
China.
it slip. Yeah, it's fine China, but in this instance, it's been fine China because he hasn't added much. And here's his time to shine. He's not
Jesus
even
Christ.
He's been adding the whole time.
I guess we're chopped liver too.
You guys are kind of a given. Blumenfeld, Marika, China.
See, it's catching on. The Headgum subreddit is loving China.
It's catching on despite my best efforts, I guess, my chagrin, I guess.
I've
What
learned
about-
that the more you fight a nickname, the more it sticks. My nickname was Gay Nadian in high school, so
Jesus.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And I just said that online.
I got a question for Brad before he leaves.
Don't leave.
China wants me to leave, I think.
No, what'd you...
Dime China. If you take the plot of Nickel Boys, but sub out the themes of racial justice in favor of Casey just having a pouch of walking around coins, you get this, Dime China. It's still set in Florida, but the majority of the movie is Casey trying and failing to exchange coins for cash at a Regions bank. But you've heard of
Did you
Dime
see it?
China, right?
I didn't see it because I hear it's real sad and I'm not really in a place to watch
Casey and I were
that.
talking about this yesterday. We both haven't watched Nickel Boys because we don't want to be sad.
But I hear it's phenomenal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But is it as good as Dime China? Right? Which again,
Probably
just to be
not.
clear, it's
Is Dime China also completely like POV shot? Like, is it from...
Yeah,
No,
I was
there's
imagining
there's a
Casey's
story
hand like
to
coming
it.
out and trying to like feed coins
No, there's a whole-
into a
China's hand.
machine and stuff.
there's a whole backstory about how like Dime China and Casey, I'm not saying this is at your real life, but it's like you take characters and you heighten. It's
Well,
like
sure.
based on.
I'm not going to act in this. Some other actor will play.
Well, I kind of thinking it
his
would be
character,
like
Dime
the
China.
Steven Spielberg movie he made about like his entire life, which was crazy that he did that.
Yeah.
Wait, can I tell Casey a little bit what Dime China is actually about? Because he was asking if it was just like still shot of him exchanging coins for money.
No, that wasn't what he
not
was
really what I
asking.
was
The movie
asking.
is shot in first person.
Nickel Boys is shot
Oh,
like first person. It's from
Yeah.
the point of view of some of the characters.
Yeah,
Okay.
what I just
So
said,
is Dime
ultimately.
China from my point of view, or I guess the
Sure,
character
yeah,
Dime
it's
China's point of view.
the POV of Dime China or of China. He just has dimes. Dimes
Yeah.
China is maybe a better title, but it already came out. It's from China's point of view, and it's mostly China trying to exchange dimes, quarters.
Yeah, I
for-
understood the entire concept of the movie.
But there's a bunch of backstory about how China's dad was like a race car driver and they don't have a great relationship. And that's why he always keeps. But the one like tie between him and his dad is that he does keep walking around coins. Casey, this made me think of you.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and read that out loud. This
Am I
is
in your
something
way?
that kind of I saw this on my Explore page. I instantly thought China.
Okay, this is an Instagram post.
Just kind of directing this all at me, so I can be
Let
quiet.
you know you've been killing it and
Thanks.
pass that on to Hunter and Andrew. And
Yeah,
Marika
thanks.
and
Hey,
Alec.
Andrew, you've been killing it.
Anya, Cassie, you guys are great. China, sorry. Corey, thanks so much for
What?
Thanks so much for
What? I wasn't listening. Sorry.
being here.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me.
Allie, not the Eve I know at the end.
Allie's correct. That was wrong.
Trump.
China.
China.
Emily Dickinson. Now I know what you guys are wondering.
Jeff hated that.
What's the chai now of Chai Light?
What's the chai now?
Why?
It's like the why
Okay.
now in a pitch, but it's
Got it.
chai
I see.
now.
I was going through all the
Let's
books
just-
like new chai,
right.
whatever Eclipse would be, breaking chai.
I think the chai now is the Indian versus Indian. I think you actually kind of accidentally struck gold with her, even though you didn't really think of that from the start and you made it up kind of during the pitch.
But
I
it
actually think that's where
sounded
the
like I
story
had
is.
it the whole time. That's the
For
genius
sure.
of me.
I
That's
have
the
I have a question.
genius of me. What?
What's the China of this pitch?
Casey.
Don't bring me
We
into
got
this.
there really, really good. Casey, can you just look into the GoPro and just say, I disagree?
No.
That's dangerous.
No, this is really
Just say, I
dangerous.
disagree to the GoPro.
Propaganda
It's
we're
two
not falling
words.
for.
One of them's a letter.
No.
Yeah, but like you're obviously gonna do something nefarious.
Yeah.
Nefarious, I'm just saying, just you as yourself, I disagree. If you want to, you could say China disagrees.
That's pretty good, actually.
Oh no.
Should have been edited, which was anti-Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much for that, Grace.
Anti-China Jeffrey Club bumper stickers coming to the Headgum store.
Down with China. That's the bumper sticker, but you have to know that we're actually just talking about Casey.
Yeah.
And then Casey, it was your nickname is lewd and weird.
I thought his
Like the
nickname was
nickname
China.
itself, the
Yeah,
nickname
exactly right.
is lewd and weird.
It's a weird and lewd nickname, China.
Have you asked Casey how he's doing?
He's never asked me that.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get more from people if you were
Yeah.
checking in on them and seeing how they were doing.
How you doing, Casey?
I'm doing fine.
Great. Okay.
That feel good?
Not really.